problems. Hi, I'm Tony and this is SV Tapatya and we are building a cruising sailboat. We're building a 32-foot junk schooner dory designed by Jay Benford, and this is the video log of that build really. Up on the foredeck, you may remember a few weeks ago I was masking up these combings, or the combing caps, and the varnish is done now. Need to get a bit of white paint up to the varnish bits. That's looking good. There's one other thing that I need to do here before I drag her out of the shed, and that's I need to get some metal strip around the top of this box for two purposes really, to cover that end grain and to protect it from the chain. So that needs doing before I drag it out so we don't get moisture into this end grain. But other than that, we're ready here. And that leads me to a thought actually. Deadlines. Even worse, self-imposed deadlines. What silly things they are. A few weeks ago I said I thought I'd drag her out in April, and that was no reason for that. It was just me making up a deadline for myself. Stupid. I'll drag her out when I'm ready, and it's clearly we've only got what 10 days of April left, and it's probably not going to be in April, but it'll be soon. We'll be pulling her forward soon. That's a better way to say it, isn't it? Yeah, if you like these videos, click the old subscribe button please if you haven't already. It's a great way to support the channel and help us get out to a wider audience. Turn, probably not. No, that's quite stiff. Yeah, quite a bit going on this week in various parts of the boat actually. One thing I've been doing is hooking up the diesel tank. I've got you remember I put in the filler deck thing, whatever it's called, a couple of weeks ago, and I put the hose onto that, connected it up to the tank. We've got the two hoses. One's the feed out to the motor on and routed through completely. The tank vent or breather is on the tank but not routed through completely. The plan for that is to bring it through in here. And in fact, this is the area with the day tank filler. Yeah, so I've fitted the actual vent out. This comes through here. This does need a drain in it still, so in case any water comes in, it drains out. But obviously the pipe comes up in this section here, and I need a through deck fitting. I don't want, I want it to be a sealed through deck fitting where that vent pipe comes up to join the back of that. So I bought the parts to make it up, but it's still not in place. Other than that, diesel tank is all hooked up. Just fire. Try our luck. Sugar in there? Yeah. So I'm just going to solder that together now. 10mm hose bar. That looks hopeful. And there it is. The best fit, but it'll do. Fine. yeah, other things, connecting things up really. You saw me fit the raw water filter, diesel water trap and pre-filter last time. So now if I lean in here, fuel hoses through, stopcock on there, through to the filter. You wouldn't believe the hours that went into connecting that up. It looks something ridiculously simple, doesn't it? I'm going to sit up, mate. These filters, some things are just made to annoy you, aren't they? These filters, the Volvo Penta, all the fuel hose fittings on the engine are 10mm. The tank came with 10mm hose nozzles, hose barbs. So, you know, it makes sense to run a 10mm diesel hose, which I did. I bought this filter and it comes only with 8mm fittings, but I thought that would be easy. I would just buy some 10mm fittings, which I did, but the 8mm fittings screw in because they're metric thread. It's not a proper pipe thread, you know, it is a good honest tapered pipe thread or something, which is what I prefer. It's a metric thread, and so you have a machine surface on the nut end that with a copper washer tightens up against the thing. Lovely. The 8mm ones had it, but the 10mm fittings, M14, didn't have that. So you could put them in with thread sealant, true enough. I wasn't that happy. So in the end, I adapted the 8mm ones with the copper washer to take the 10mm hose by cutting the hose barb off, turning it out on the lathe or drilling it out on the lathe and sliding it over, soldering it together again. What a palaver. And this banjo, if you lean in, Kerry, and show them that banjo, another palaver, unbelievable. I couldn't find any banjos M14 10mm. They come with 8mm, as I told you, and in the end I ordered a set that was supposed to be 8mm, and when it arrived it was 9mm, and then I was then spent a fair bit of time wondering whether to squeeze a 10mm hose down onto the 9mm, but in the end I've gone 8mm hose from the tap, from the stopcock through to the filter, 8mm hose, back out again, 10mm hose to the diesel filter and the return line from the injectors. Yeah, and looks good, all in, tidy, looks great, but you would not believe the hours that went into something as simple as that. Madness. And Norman, I'm sure this isn't what you were imagining, but I put an LED light up there and another one up here. And if I get out of the way, you'll see some pretty serious illumination in there. I'm very pleased with that, it's very bright. It's good. Got the day tank plumbed in as well. Little stopcock running through to a water trap and filter. Again with a stopcock, so I'm a bit overdone the stopcocks a bit, but that's in. I may put some support for that hose across there, but that's the diesel stove supply in and done. Let's try it this way then, shall we? Through there like that. Through there like that. I've run the negative or ground cable from the battery bus through to the engine, and as I did it, it dawned on me that I've got this lovely metal structure here. So I've run the ground cable through to here, connects to the metal framing, and I've got this earth strap connecting the metal frame to the motor, which gives us earth continuity through to the engine. And that made it possible, well, I could have done it other ways, but I then was checking through the earth continuity. On these Volvo Pentas with cell drive, it's most important that the bell housing, or the adapter plate as they call it, from the bell housing through to the cell drive, that it is insulated from the engine, because the cell drive itself has to have no electrical ground connected to it. So I had the ohm meter out and checked it through, and this one isn't. I don't know what they've done when they put that together, but something's wrong. So I'm going to have to strip that off and see what's wrong and put whatever is missing from the insulation in there. It's not a big deal, but that's something. I'm pleased I checked it and found it. I should be doing that soon. So I've hooked up the inverter, and we need to see if it works. Put it in there. Turn on battery and turn on inverter. And that is the lights running off the inverter. Isn't that brilliant? And presumably must also work off this one, doesn't it? Yes! Excellent! Excellent, love it. And after many months of talking about it, you may have noticed that the inverter is finally hooked up properly, and it works! Hey! Yeah, a little 250 watt inverter. Functions, running off a tiny little 30 amp hour battery at the moment, and works just lovely. And that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Massive thank you from me to everybody who supported this project in any way. People who've bought challenge coins or t-shirts or music, people who donate via PayPal, and lovely people who support us on Patreon. Thank you to you, and we'll be back next time. See you then. Bye.